Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.
I am Rachel Ruth Tate, and this is Text Astrology. Hey folks, tuning in from Texas and outside our great state. This is Rachel Ruth speaking, your very own Central Texas astrologer, coming to you from the Rogue Media Network studios in downtown Waco. Today's episode has us talking a full moon in Sagittarius, the ninth sign in the zodiac ruled by Jupiter and represented by the Centaur Archer. This moon occurs at 13 degrees of Sagittarius, our mutable fire sign of adventure, exploration, and discovery. All signs have an element and modality, like each atom exists as a solid, liquid, gas, or plasma, the states of matter. And it's got to be unmoving, accelerating, or slowing down / changing state. And there we have the origins of earth, water, air, and fire existing in fixed cardinal or mutable patterns of motion. So what do you think of when you think of a plasma that is changing state? An uncontrolled forest fire? Astral decay? A supernova? Nuclear radiation? That's some very impressive and intense stuff, but also all speaks to the brink of our awareness, the edge of our knowledge. That search for truth is the essence of Sagittarius, that which inspires awe, inspires investigation, like the fire of Prometheus. We will always be seeking truth with a capital T. That's humanity's Promethean hero's journey, and it's timeless. But when we do find that big truth, it can totally feel more of a mysterious burning bush moment than a clear answer to our metaphorically burning questions. Like, why am I here? What is life? What does it all mean? How did this come to exist? Is the moment of creation eternal? This sort of stuff is hard to express. Mercury, our mind and speech, is in detriment in Sagittarius because ruler Jupiter is about that forever evolution, that great expansion, that higher divine purpose. Man's search for meaning is part and parcel of that. The quest, the fire under your ass, right? The centaur as a symbol itself speaks to the human condition as a bridge between the mundane and the divine, as our higher intelligence places us between heaven and earth. It raises us beyond the primal animalistic state, and yet we will never be immortal gods. We are humans. The the story of Charon or Chiron, one of the most famous centaurs of all time, and the inspiration for the Sagittarian symbol speaks to this. He was sired by an immortal Titan father, abandoned by his earth nymph mother, raised as an orphan by the twin gods of Olympus, Artemis, and Apollo, and later he was mentor-teacher to great human heroes like Achilles and Jason, and the savior of Prometheus, to bring that name back in, the Titan god of fire. Charon having traded his immortality to free Prometheus from bondage. The whole story speaks to how necessity mothers invention, how a hero is born, and how you have to be the medicine that heals your own wound. And Sagittarius is that sign of spiritual effort, of zest for life, mystical curiosity, great adventure, and the knowing of God. It is the third sign in the fire trigon after Aries and Leo, and it is the third of 4 signs in the mutable quadruplicity. It is the 9th sign in total, 3/4 of the way through the 12-sign zodiac, giving it a distinct quality of that very Trinity itself. There's something of the Holy Spirit here. So what does this mean for our full moon? I know you're thinking. Well, let's explore here. To begin with, the ruler of this moon, Jupiter, is at 4 degrees of Taurus, making no angular relationship with the moon at 13 Sagittarius. But it is conjoined the north node of the moon, which is at 3 degrees Taurus, and that node constitutes the attractive pull of fate, the cosmic magnet of destiny. So there is some mystery and miracle here for real. The moon is averse to its ruler, Jupiter, yes, so it might be hard to see the effect and perhaps the purpose to the lived experience of this full moon in Sag, but trust, it's there. Jupiter may have no special power in Taurus, truly, but with Mercury co-present at the time of the moon, thereby Jupiter also in Taurus, we will certainly have our Jupiter issues in mind. Jupiter being our greater benefic, our higher good, our belief, and the collective evolution. And this will be materially on our minds here. The closest aspect that any traditional planet is making to the moon is also a loose sextile, a 60-degree opportune angle of the nature of unionizing Venus from an active Mars at 8 degrees of Leo. Mars in Leo represents doing you. And this Mars in Leo answers to the Sun in Gemini, which is 1/2 of the luminaries that make up this full moon. We are going to be putting our will into practice and making manifest in the world that which we want to experience here, seeking it out, and that which our fate wants us to experience here. The ruler of this full moon in Sag is a Jupiter and Taurus conjoined Rahu or the North Node. So it's all fate. Amor fati here. Fall in love with what the universe is serving you as your higher education, and allow that universe to baptize and initiate you. We don't get to choose our cosmic level communions, no. Rather, it's a part of our natal promise and beyond words, like the capital T truth that Sagittarius seeks often is. Because at the time that this moon is full, our recently direct Mercury has finally cleared its shadow, or the area of its previous retrograde, and it is at 19 degrees Taurus, moving into a conjunction, a fusion of function, with disruptive changemaker Uranus at 20 degrees of Taurus. Necessity mothers our invention, I will say again. I am sensing some minor shock and awe vibes here. Very new and next. And perhaps some sort of breakdown that breaks through, like the cleansing of a forest with the fire. It may feel like a sudden shift of belief based upon lived experience. It may feel like finally hearing your calling, or hearing a different calling. It may be a fated meeting that challenges all of your expectations. It may be an emergent passion that becomes fruition. It may be initiation into another level of personal expression. This full moon is going to bring those moments of Sagittarian realization no matter where you are in this moment of your hero's journey or your life. Your journey is as epic as any human's ever has been, okay? Or it can be. The moments of myth have never ended. We read about them and we live them. So don't be surprised if you've been called away on travel, or if you're learning something brand new, or if you're working on a timeless level. Legend is first lived. So while Sagittarius is jovial, exciting, and zealous, it is not particularly chill. Though the full moon's ruler, Jupiter's position in fixed Earth Taurus, might perhaps moderate and stabilize for us here. And there is a square, a 90-degree tense angle of the nature of Mars from restrictive Saturn at 7 degrees Pisces active here as well. So whatever is going down with this full moon, it's meant to age. Whatever doors are closing or challenges are emotionally looming, they are meant to drive us forward, to make us wiser. Now is meant to challenge our beliefs so that this moment can refine them. Burdensome Saturn in Jupiter's other sign, mutable water Pisces, a reminder that not all things, especially not all beliefs, are meant to last forever. We shed them like snakeskin, moving into new forms that will take us into the next, just like the nature of the lunar nodes that Jupiter is currently conjoined express as well. We are always evolving and being pulled towards our fate. Mystic Saturn in Pisces knows this well. This full moon is Jupiterian Sagittarius, and it also says to us that not all endings are the end. Great change also has to simmer into the stew, marrying all the flavors together with time and contact. Jupiter in Taurus loves a great stew. But anyway, the yummy metaphor totally stands. This full moon is about getting excited and curious about all that has changed and is changing within your spirit and the world around you. Integration is an art and a process, and the full moon in Sag is here to take you on that inner and outer journey for the next weeks. And so I will use this great Sagittarian faith and optimism to inform our mantra horoscopes for this full moon syzygy. I request rising signs be used for these horoscopes as the ascendant speaks to your first house of your literal self, but your sun or moon sign works as well. So this full moon lunar eclipse in Sag for all 12 signs. Aries. I seek and embrace my higher purpose. Taurus. I seek and trust in mutual investment. Gemini. I seek and thrive in real partnership. Cancer. I seek and prioritize daily well-being. Leo. I seek and create my earnest joy. Virgo. I seek and welcome generational healing. Libra. I seek and express my truest voice. Scorpio. I seek and receive my own blessings. Sagittarius. I seek and encourage my authentic self. Capricorn. I seek and attend to my internal world. Aquarius. I seek and enjoy the people meant for me. Pisces. I seek and acknowledge where I need to lead. Let those horoscopes smolder in the soul while we take a short break for a word from our sponsors.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
And here we are back in the stars, transitioning like Sagittarius does into the top 3 transits or celestial happenings to follow over the next 2 weeks. First transit. Venus enters Leo on Monday, June 5th at 8:42 a.m. Central Standard Time, where she will stay until, get this, October 8th of this year. How, you ask? Venus, our planet of love and beauty and joy, typically spends about 3 weeks in any given sign, and this transit of Venus through Leo lasts just over 4 months. Well, folks, yes, if it isn't another retrograde, and indeed it is. Venus is retrograde, or apparent backward motion, given the Earth's own orbit and our relative speeds and positions. So, Venus retrograde happens every 18 months or so, every year and a half, and it lasts for 40 days and 40 nights. If 40 days and 40 nights sounds familiar, it is because this time period, this cycle, is referenced constantly in literature and in media, this Venus retrograde cycle throughout history, most especially in the Bible, which is kind of an important book, right? Pretty central to current modern culture. So Exodus 24 tells us that Moses stayed at the foot of Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. Matthew and Mark mention that Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights while being tempted by the devil. Acts 1 tells us that Jesus also experienced 40 days and nights between his crucifixion and his ascension. Shoot. Even all the way back to the Old Testament and Genesis, God's first great flood of the earth lasted for 40 days and 40 nights. That's the time that Noah had to float his ass around and all the animals in an ark, right? So Venus's retrograde cycle speaks to an inflection of desire. Venus herself is about how we know beauty, how we experience joy, how we understand pleasure, how our aesthetic expresses, how we define art, and how we love life. And that changes often. Not particularly quickly, and maybe not often. But when Venus retrogrades in an area of our chart, how we love on that part of our lives changes, taking on a brand new orientation. I am spotlighting the Venus retrograde cycle and its meaning because this Venus ingress is happening in Leo. Leo is the 5th sign in the zodiac, our fixed fire sign, and the only sign of the sun, which speaks to that expression of life itself. The sun is the energy that brings all things to bear, the light and the heat of life itself. And just like the sun, you might think, right? Leo likes attention. All things Leonine look for the spotlight and the creative self-expression, that time in the sun. So I want to create a little drama here, introducing our upcoming retrograde and the central astrological feature of our summer here, right? In the Northern Hemisphere. Late July and August, when the sun is in Leo season, that's going to be highly charged because Venus is going to be right there too. Each planet is renewed through the fires of the sun during its own retrograde period, did you know? In which the planet becomes invisible and then reemerges after a conjunction with the sun's heart, which is the same degree and degree minute as the sun. This Venus is doing her dance of rebirth and reflection upon her own true meaning. Venus in Leo is about loving being you. Venus in Leo is about the refinement of the self to bring about more satisfaction, the beauty in the self, the glory of your authentic being, the art of what isness. When Venus enters Leo, there will be a spotlight on that part of your chart for about a third of the year this time. Whew. So now Venus won't go retrograde until late July. I'm just foreshadowing. So this first month and a half is going to have a unique quality. Venus is moving in Leo here, very nearly conjoined Mars, also in Leo, our planet of action and doing. And that's quite frankly very sexy. If you ask an astrologer what planet rules sex, they'll tell you it's essentially equal parts Venus and Mars. You gotta have the desire, Venus, and the action, Mars. So this might feel very dynamic, very spicy, very va-va-boom. Maybe some hot drama, maybe some celeb scandal, some big hard push for a desired outcome. But be easy and enjoy the enjoyable, because this Venus is slowing down and will never catch her lover Mars. You'll not get the carrot at the end of the stick until Venus and Mars finally actually conjoin, but in Aquarius and next year. So there's going to be this urgency and quickening of feeling that won't actually come to full fruition until next year. But you're going to feel this Venus in Leo all summer and into fall, ladies and gents. So get ready to feel yourself feeling yourself and take advantage of Venus initially direct in Leo here. And also a brand new second transit, Mercury entering Gemini on Sunday, June 11th at 5:24 a.m. Central Standard Time, its own mutable air sign home, where it remains until just June 26th for a hot couple of chatty weeks. Mercury likes Gemini, okay? It loves it, in fact. Gemini are the cosmic twins, Castor and Pollux, and between them, the young side of Mercury, the generative, conversational, and creative. Twins love each other. Gemini is the third sign in the zodiac and the first of the air trigon, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, which Mercury also maintains triplicity rulership over, aka the air element is good for talking and thinking and transacting. And for children. Mercury rules over children, which are generated and created through communication between two, right? So Mercury did its last retrograde in Taurus just recently, and now it's finally picking up some nice speed and has totally cleared the sign in which it last slowed to a stop. So with this transition, we are getting our minds back underneath us with Mercury in Gemini. We can wrap our heads around the full moon in Sagittarius changes with this. And so we can integrate that long-ass Mars retrograde in Gemini that also just happened from August of 2022 to March of 2023. That was a lot of frustration and 8 months of a block to change. And mutability speaks to the very motion of change, as Gemini and Sagittarius make up a mutable axis. On one side, our mental and intellectual development, Gemini. And on the other side, our spiritual and philosophical development, Sagittarius. Mutable signs are about evolution. And this powerful little swift Mercury at home is here to help us evolve and adapt our headspace and our checkbooks to the present and presenting environment. And with both Venus and Mars in Leo, we can enjoy a little flirty sextile between this Mercury in Gemini and those planets in Leo. Read, this is the time to spit your best game, son. Romance the world. Romance yourself. Be the person you want to attract. Fall in love with life again. Fall in love with your life. Change what needs to change. Gemini will have plenty of ideas for what's next. And if you are planning creative projects this summer, which with a Venus retrograde in Leo near Mars, that seems appropriate, use these Mercury and Gemini weeks to work your plan, to do the important outlining, to get the right allies on side. The mind will be quick and the social connections quicker and the transacting even quicker. Maybe with that initial trine from Pluto, who is going to leave Aquarius in literally a couple of hours after this ingress, literally. You might have to do a bit of experimental creative legwork, perhaps, maybe with ChatGPT or some such AI on the morning that Mercury enters Gemini. That would be fun. It can be a great help in generating lengthy text and original thought-provoking mixtures of images. I asked the app Starry AI for a portrait of a wavy-haired, thin, dark blonde woman with brown eyes, which I am, in the style of Gustav Klimt. And I cannot tell you how much the results tickled me. Venus in Leo would be so down for such things as well, especially as they interest you. So let's get talking, transacting, and make tech fun and natural with Mercury in Gemini. This is its domain and its specialty. And take advantage of that early morning that Mercury ingresses, because after those couple of juicy hours, our third transit happens. Pluto retrograde re-enters Capricorn on Sunday, June 11th at 8:12 a.m. Central Standard Time, where it will remain until our dark planet power broker Pluto re-enters Aquarius next year on January 20th of 2024. Capricorn is our cardinal earth sign, 10th in the zodiac, ruled by Saturn, and where Mars exalts. It's the sign of doing what needs to be done, no matter what. Capricorn is the professional. Now, let me remind us that Pluto is retrograde approximately 40% of all time. So Pluto retrograde is not unusual. I think it's totally the origin of the idiom, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? So Pluto, the unseen hand, the lord of the underworld, often appears uncertain. The supposed battle between good and evil, almost balanced. But we all know planets move forward. We all know good eventually triumphs, even just by a little bit, right? It's just what has to be. God said this was all good when he made it, right? Anywho, Pluto won't station direct in Capricorn until October 10th of this year. That should sound familiar because we have a Venus exiting Leo and Pluto stationing direct within just a couple days of each other. Just like Venus entering Leo and Pluto re-entering Capricorn are happening just a few days from each other at this time, and I'm telling you about them in this podcast. So I'm watching this Venus-Pluto vibe very carefully because there is an adjustment we're making. We are rebalancing the scales of fate here by refining the nature of our own desire, like I mentioned. Our hearts are being weighed and measured, y'all. The nodes change signs in July, and that draining south node release valve moves into Libra, Venus's cardinal air sign, letting go of the old ideas of balance. Power is shifting. Cardinal signs speak to directional motion. We need to get a few things straight, so to speak, in order to finally put this recently battered Capricorn part of our charts to rest. These last 3 to 6 years, it has been hard for Capricorn. And these last 3 years, it's been really hard to let go of old ways and traditions and how things were prior to 2020. That's the time Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, was at home in future-oriented Aquarius, while underworld ruler Pluto remained in Saturn-ruled establishment-oriented Capricorn. But now it's time. Saturn left Aquarius, not to return for about 30 years. Saturn is in Jupiter's mutable water sign of Pisces. We are here to heal in these waters and to let go of what our ideas of the future needed to be. 2023 and 2019 are literally different fucking worlds. And so we need a different perspective. We need to allow and permit powerfully change direction because that is our fate. Amor fati, again, love it. Let me speak for one moment to those of you with major placements in the last degree of Capricorn or the first degree of Aquarius, because in my personal client charts, these degrees have been popping up big time, big time. All the people with the last degree of Cap have totally been coming to see me and asking to get their charts read. So for reference, Pluto takes 248 years to go around the zodiac. So most of us don't experience most Pluto transits. I really haven't met a 124-year-old, so we don't even get halfway. But for those of you with heavy Capricorn placements, you've been getting Pluto over your natal shit since 2008. And Pluto will absolutely wreck what was there and rebuild it, Kitsungi style. It's the planet that destroys to create, that both empowers and topples from grace. It makes and remakes in the image of what must be. So if you have anything at 29 Cap or even 29 Cancer across the way, get ready for this. Prepare to be reborn and prepare to feel it. This is Capricorn. This is Earth. This is Yin, the receptive, and you'll know when you've received it. You may feel it immediately. You may already be feeling it. Pluto retrograde here is going to be like a long ferry ride with Karen over the river Styx. Yeah, he pops up again. It's a somber and ceremonial journey. Pluto stuff is the very essence of shadow work. It's the importance of dark matter that we don't understand. It is the mystery and the miracle and the surrender to it because we have no other choice. And hey, that sounds a little strangely appropriate for a full moon in Sag, right? So keep the faith. Keep the faith. It's darkest before the dawn. Speaking of, let's move back to our lunation and to the quality of time over the 2 weeks following this full moon in Sagittarius. These weeks will feel epic, energetic, developmental, invigorating, and demanding. Which brings us into our do's and don'ts for this full moon in Sagittarius is a G. Do strive. Give life your best efforts and put forth the type of devotion that honors you and that which you love. Don't work yourself into a frenzy. Things may seem chaotic, but there is a method in all nature's seeming madness. Do accept the present moment. You may need to consciously surrender to the process here. Things are very active. Don't get emotionally complacent or satisfy yourself by playing the victim in the drama. Only you know if you're offering your best, and all of us can do better. Do what lights you up. Honest to God, what makes your heart sing. We need your shine now. It's your calling. Don't simply seek attention for attention's sake. If it is noteworthy, people will take note. Be secure in your brightness and trust your heart. And with that, please let me remind you all that I offer natal chart readings to private clients, and I do this on Zoom. So head to my website, www.texastrology.com, to book yours or get a gift certificate for a friend. Code I love you, no spaces, gets you $100 off your session. I do adore you all for listening to this podcast. As always, thank you for liking, following, subscribing to, reviewing. Hey, everybody, please review. If you're hearing this, if you're still listening to this podcast, leave a review. I don't have very many. I've got only a few. And I know there are a lot of you listening. So please take that time to do that if you like what you hear. It helps me with the algorithms so much. Until next time. That's it for this episode, folks. Meet me here every full and new moon for more cosmic wisdom. For now, you can find me on Instagram at Rachel Ruth Tate and at Texastrology, or between the pages of my book, Meditations on Being, available on Amazon and wherever else you purchase books.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.